We're told the table shows the side lengths for 3 triangles, and then they ask us which pair of triangles is similar. Pause this video and have a go at that. Okay, so there's many different ways of approaching it. One way is to look at the ratio between the corresponding sides in the different triangles. So for example, we could look at the ratio of the short sides of the corresponding triangles. So if I go from RST to the short side of RST to the short side of UVW, it looks like I'm multiplying by 3. If I go from the medium side of RST to UVW, it looks like I'm multiplying by 3. So far I have the same ratio. I have a 3-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio. And it looks like the long side, when I go from 7 to 21, that's also multiplying by 3. So the fact that all 3 of these I'm multiplying by the same factor, or I have the same ratio between the corresponding sides, that tells me immediately that RST and UVW, these two triangles, are similar. Now let's look at the other ones just to see, or if any of the other combinations, to see if they aren't similar. And maybe we'll also approach it a different way. So if we compare RST to XYZ, here we're multiplying by 2 to go from 3 to 6, but here we're not multiplying by 2. We are multiplying by 2 to go from 7 to 14, but here we aren't, to go to 5 by 9. All 3 of these ratios have to be the same. So we know that RST and XYZ are not similar. And then last but not least, we can look at these last two. If we go from UVW to XYZ, if I go from 9 to 6, I'm essentially multiplying by 2/3. So times 2/3, or times 6 over 9 is another way of thinking about it. If I were to multiply by 2/3 over here, I wouldn't get to 9, I would get to 10. So these two are also not going to be similar. So that makes us feel good that our only similar pair is RST and UVW. Now another way that we could have tackled this is by looking at the ratios between the sides. So what do I mean by that? So actually let me look at the ratio. Let me write it here in a different color here. I'm going to extend this table. I'm going to extend the table here. And I'm going to calculate 3 ratios. I'm going to calculate, maybe I'll use S, M, and L for the lengths of those sides. So I'll look at the ratio of the short to long. I'll look at the ratio of, and we could, that's actually let's go the other way. Let's do the longer sides top. So we have the long to the short, we have the long to the medium, and then we have the medium to the short side. So the long side to the medium side, sorry, the long side to the short side here is 7 over 3. Long side to the medium side here is 7 over 5. And the medium side to the short side is 5 over 3. 5 over 3. Now let's do it for UVW. Long side to short side, 21 over 9, which is the same thing as 7 to 3. 7 to 3. Long to medium, 21 over 15 is the same thing as 7 to 5. 7 to 5. And then medium to short, 15 over 9 is the same thing as 5 to 3. You might already see where this is going, but I'm just going to keep going just for completeness. Now let's do it for XYZ. So XYZ, long side to short side, is 14 over 6, which is the same thing as 8 over 3. 8 over 3. Long to medium, 14 over 9, and I can't simplify that one anymore. And then medium to short is 9 over 6, which is 3 over 2. Now, we can see that RST and UVW have the same ratio between the corresponding sides. Long to short is 7 over 3. Long to medium, 7 over 5. Medium to short is 5 over 3. So that's another way that we could conclude that RST and UVW are similar.